guys, I am here today with this. This is the 2025 Genesis GV80. Let's get into it. So if you've seen my other videos, maybe you saw that I went to the reveal of this vehicle in Dallas a few weeks ago. This is the 2025 version of the GV80, so it's a refresh model. And you know, I drove it for a day, which tells me some stuff, but it doesn't tell me everything. So this time I got it for a week here in Southern California where I live, so I was able to, incorporate it in my life and see how it felt in real world conditions, which changed my mind on it a little bit. I'll tell you more in a sec. Of the new features in the 2025 version of the GV80 versus the earlier one is this big grille, right? So this grille is a little different because it's got a double hashed here, so it looks a little bit different. We've also got a new turn indicator on the side, panoramic moonroof, and plus this new color. The base model for the GV80 is a 2.5 liter. The one I'm driving now is the highest trim, which is the 3.5 liter twin turbo charged V6. So it's called the Prestige, and the Prestige is also all-wheel drive, which is great. This trim is putting out 375 horsepower and 391 foot-pound of torque. Let me tell you, that's executed really beautiful. It's not very torquey, even when you put it in sport mode, and the transmission is lovely. But I'll tell you more about the drive in 1 minute. Certainly can have fun in this vehicle. It's got plenty of horsepower, plenty of torque, and when you put it in sport mode, it's fun, but it's not necessarily nimble. But the trade-off with that is you get a drive that's very intuitive, it's really responsive. Parking this thing was such a joy, and it feels like you're getting a lot of bang for the buck because you do get a sense of luxury in this vehicle, but you don't get a sense that it's just rinse and repeat. It feels fresh, it feels new. There are lots of features that come in this Prestige trim. Let me run through them really quickly. So we've got these 20-inch wheels, you've got a 4-zone climate control, the panoramic sunroof, the leather trim. Also, the seats are cooled and heated, and there's a heated steering wheel, as well as that armrest, the one by the driver, heats up when the seats are heated as well, which is great. And there's also this beautiful Bang & Olufsen sound system. So one of the exterior features that's new in this 2025 version is this color. It's a matte green called Storr green. Listen, I don't know if you can see it with the way I've shot. I've done my best to make it as clear as possible, but it is really magnificent and really special. I also made sure I didn't clean it because I wanted you guys to see how it got marked up and how that felt just kind of with everyday use. And to be honest with you, it really didn't show the dirt as much as I thought it would. Where does the word Storr green come from? Apparently it's a mountain in Scotland. And this Storr green color will cost you an extra $1,500. What do you think? Is it worth it? Looks pretty cool to me. Let me know in the comments. This is an incredibly luxurious interior, and it feels a lot bigger than it is. I'm not exactly sure how they've accomplished that, to be honest with you. I think a lot of it is this big screen, and they've just given us a sense of expansion here. But that's also true for the driver's seat. It feels wide, it feels very comfortable, but also feels like there's a lot of room here. So if you're a larger person, you're going to be really comfortable in this vehicle. In terms of headroom, there's a lot for me. I'm 5'6", so that should be noted. One thing to think about, I had someone comment on one of my other videos that when he lowered the seat for his to fit in something, he was really tall. It was really hard to see the screen. I don't think that would necessarily be a problem in this vehicle. It's also noted that the steering wheel does raise and lower electronically, and it telescopes in and out. So there are a lot of ways for you to become comfortable in this vehicle, and then when you set it, I'm sure you can forget it. Let's take a look at the back seat. Okay, you'll notice that you can control the back seats here. You know, you can make them fold down here. You can also do that from the rear, which is great. We've also got electronic controls here in the back seat, so it's not, you know, not a lot of pushing and pulling, which is great. In the door, we've got a little slot. We've also got a bottle holder there. There are 3 speakers in the door, but you know, it should be noted that if you're a mom and you're worried about your kids, you know, music exposure, you can control that from the sound system settings. So that's great. Here in the back seat, instead of having, a lot of vehicles have like a mesh little compartment here, this is solid, which I think makes it look a little bit more sophisticated. I've also got a mirror that's illuminated here as well, 2 hooks. The ventilation back here is both behind the driver's armrest as well as under this little window, which I think probably creates a lot of really nice cross ventilation, which is nice. In this trim, the seat coolers and seat warmers, and in the rear seat, they can control their the HVAC, which is really nice. We've also got 2 USBs as well as an AC volt in the back seat. In terms of the armrest, there are 2 cup holders as well as a center little compartment that is very shallow, so you're really just like putting phones and like maybe some gum back there. Not a whole lot. One feature I always love in these vehicles is the fact that I can control this front passenger seat from the rear end. So, you know, if you've got kids back here and nobody in the front seat and they're just, you know, they want to be more comfortable, you don't have to walk around to control that. You can control it from the back seat. In terms of a grown-up sitting back here, this is plenty comfortable. I'm 5'6", again, so there's a fair amount of room, and the front seat right now is giving me, it's not even set to where I sit because it comes forward a little bit when you turn the car on. So you've got plenty of leg room here in my opinion, and I think you can fit 3 people back here comfortably. It should note that the GV80 is offered in a 3rd row. I don't have that with me here today, I'm sorry, but I did hear that the 3rd row in the GV80 is quite small, so it's just really for kids, not for grown-ups. Okay guys, let's take a look at the back end. Before you go crazy, I'm gonna turn you on to this little button. Don't ask me how long it took me to figure that out. Whatever, now you know. So the back end in the GV80 is huge, but before I show you how huge is it, I just want to talk about this little net thing. Fantastic. It really, you can see here what happened when I just only had 4 bags of groceries. A net, duh. The greatest little system, loved it. So the GV80, like I said, is offered with a 3rd row, so there's a lot of room back here when you just have the 2nd row. Again, I'm putting my whole, you know, all of my legs fit back here, which is crazy. So that's a lot of space. So that's the flat space. These 2nd row seats do fold all the way down. There's a, they're also split, which is really nice. It gives you a lot of flexibility. And then on the side, we've got a storage compartment over there. And there's also an electronic button here for you to control those back seats and put them down from the rear end, which is really great. Again, I just want to show you guys how easy that is. Hooray, now it folds flat. In terms of the storage back here, if you lift this up, you'll see that it's not a spare back here, which is totally okay. One of the things that they've done, which I can so appreciate, is they've put the cover, you know, the rolling cover that you put in the back end, they've made a storage place for it under here. Hallelujah. Don't ask me how many of those are in my garage. But there are also these compartment systems back here that allow you to store other things, which is kind of like what Mazda's done with the CX-70. You can watch my video here if that interests you. Again, huge, beautiful back end in the GV80. All right, so what's the verdict with this vehicle? So let me tell you a few things that I loved and a few things that I didn't. In terms of things I loved a little less, this vehicle is not available in a hybrid or an electrified version just yet. I averaged around 13 miles to the gallon, which in 2024 is not necessarily the best thing in the world. The other thing that's sort of negative, I guess, is that there's so much technology in this vehicle. So I would say that if you want to get the most out of this car, you really need to spend the time to get to know it. It's not insurmountable. It's something that most people can figure out, but there's a lot of technology and there's a lot to learn, but that's okay. You can do it. I know you can. The third thing, which is the negative, is people keep stopping me. I keep driving it around town, and a lot of people ask me what it is and why it's so beautiful and whether or not I like it. So let me tell you a few more things that I liked about this car. Okay, a few other things I really liked about the GV80 is just the sense of luxury. It was really nice, and it just feels, said this before about Genesis, but it just feels fresh and modern. It doesn't feel like they're rinsing and repeating an old sense of luxury, but are really, recreating the idea of what a luxury car is, and they're doing such a beautiful job. I mean, taillights, hello, gorgeous. Don't get me started on that turn indicator on the side there. I just love it. But also when you're in the vehicle, it feels like luxury, which is really nice. I also love the fact that this comes, regardless of what trim you get, it comes with a standard safety system. That's awesome. Okay, so in that standard safety system, you're gonna get lane departure warning, lane keep assist with pedestrian detection, automatic braking, semi-autonomous driving, as well as adaptive cruise control. So that's a lot of technology that just comes standard in every trim, which is fantastic. Okay guys, I know what you're thinking. Enough with the details, Motorhead Mama. Like, should I buy this car or not? Okay, so if you're looking for a mid-size luxury SUV, I think it's really hard not to like the Genesis GV80. It looks beautiful, it feels fantastic, it drives really well, it's really responsive, it's easy to park. Yeah, I mean, I think Genesis honestly has another winner on their hands with this vehicle. What do you think? Please let me know in the comments. I'm Motorhead Mama. Thanks so much for watching, and please press that subscribe button.